It is what it is. All right, now, just Johnny, you got to check out Hollow Knight, my friend. Give us the news.
All right, Hollow Knight. Okay, so this is an indie game, very much inspired by a lot of games that I bring up over and over again, like Metroidvania style games. This is a 2D game. The artwork in it is all, or at least what looks to be, hand-drawn, all of it. Just hand-drawn artwork, like hand-drawn animations, like almost a bit like Cuphead. Actually, yeah, pretty much like Cuphead, probably with a little bit less of a frame count, but very much like that for everything that's in there. Yeah. It looks visually very, very different. It looks almost ghostly, and your character is like this little weird beetle thing. But before I get there, so this
bringing up a quick screenshot now there.
Yep. So before I get there, this was a Kickstarter game. It got really successful, and it actually released and hit its, I don't know if it hit its schedule or not, but it hit the quality there, which is rare for a Kickstarter game.
Yeah, no, this looks friggin' beautiful, dude.
It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The artwork is phenomenal. As you can see in the videos, if you look up, on YouTube or whatever, for videos of this game, Hollow Knight, double O on the Hollow, you're playing as this almost
double
like
O on the Hollow,
like a ghost beetle.
I apologize for that immediately.
You're like a ghost beetle.
It looks like a rabbit, actually. Is it a beetle?
It's a beetle. Yeah, you have like. Those are like horn or antennae. I don't know what they are.
I get it. Like on a beetle, but if he was horizontal, that would be like the snapping,
like the pincers.
The jowls.
Okay, all right. The jowls, the pincers. Yeah, and you're going through this ancient city that used to be like this grand bug city, and there's larvae, there's other bugs. They have
this should be gross. I'm glad the art's like it's kind of cute. This would be disgusting in any other format.
It's like if you were to take Dark Souls, like that whole like medieval knight sort of aesthetic, but put beetles in there instead of people. So you have like these beetles. Not only are they armored, but they're wearing armor, but it kind of looks a little natural. They're flying around. There's some that are like casting spells at you. There's magic users. There's like floaty butterflies and all this stuff. So you're going through this very, very large environment, and you start as pretty much like a bug usually does at the surface, and everything is all subterranean. You're going down further and further.
Dig dug then?
Deep. What's that?
Like a reverse dig dug. Instead of starting underground and working your way up to freedom, you're working your way you're on the surface, and you're working way down to the deep, dark guts of the earth.
To the deep down guts of the earth.
To pump up some alligators and
where the big ancient bug city is, and all the neighboring environments. There's like this blacksmith. So your weapon is it's called the nail, and you're swinging this around. You have a blacksmith that will sort of.
Your weapon is the nail. It's manufactured by those heralded blacksmiths, Black & Decker.
So all right. So bringing it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is a 2D side scroll. I would say like a Metroidvania game. So if you've played Metroid, if you've played Castlevania, if you played Shovel Knight, all of these games are very, very similar in sort of gameplay style.
Nice.
And you're going through these very large environments, these big giant rooms that interconnect with one another, and you start off with some abilities, but as you're exploring this world, you're slowly acquiring new abilities that you either earn the currency to purchase, or you find just from discovery, or you earn after beating a boss fight. And that is essentially the main gist of this game. Is you're exploring, you're combating, you're earning new powers, new abilities, or money that you can then sort of further customize and tweak your character in order to progress even further and further into this world. All the while, not much information story-wise is known to you, which is it gave me a very, bringing it up again, a very Dark Souls type of vibe, because that was a game where they didn't give you any story at all. They gave you some backstory at the very, very beginning, but once you break out of the prison cell, you're out in the big giant world. You don't know what's going on and why things are the way they are.
Because it's like you think, some games focus too much on the storyline. Why am I going through training levels and stuff? But what was the game that was it Soul Reaver? It kind of threw you in there. You didn't find out what happens, what it was about until like nearly the end, and that just bugged the crap out of me. Legend of Kain.
Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain.
Yeah,
that one you find out immediately, or maybe right after the tutorial. Yeah, Kain.
Not what I remember. Maybe it's a different game. Maybe it's a different game in the series. But I remember one of them was like I didn't know what was going on until like nearly the end.
It might have been the opening. Kain comes in. He gets mad at you because you got your vampire wings before he did, and Kain tears off your vampire wings and kills you. And then you get resurrected as a Soul Reaver.
Yeah,
that's like the very beginning of it.
I mean, maybe it was a sequel. I don't know. I don't know. One of them though, it bugged the crap out of me because what I'm getting at is I don't like stories that just assume it'll be interesting enough for you to continue, and then we'll give you the actual what the hell you're doing later. Well, the only game that's gotten away with that, and I've been okay with it, was Limbo.
Yes. You know what? Yes. It is a lot like Limbo because the story is there as you progress, and you're getting hand-fed these little snippets, but that's not the main drive of it. The main drive of it is just this discovery and wonder that as you're getting into these other new areas or coming across these new enemies that are sometimes several times larger than you. Mm-hmm. There's this teleportation, the teleporter
but
mechanic.
Teleporter in quotations. Talk about an insect. What happened? Is a water drop falls on you and like drags you to another part of the level. Oh God, what's going on? It's like Canopy Lake Park, only hellish. And then suddenly I'm there and there's cockroaches all over the place.
Well, it fits the world, but there's also like story tied with it. So instead of in order to get from one part of the world to the other very quickly, there's this train station, but you're riding a stag beetle, and it has a coach and buggy attached to it. Well, it's sort of like a couch on its back. So you're riding this big giant stag beetle to get you quickly from one area to the other. But every time it's also an NPC that you can talk to. And as you talk to it and any of the other NPCs, they'll give you more information about the world that used to exist that you are currently exploring and why it's in ruins and what happened to it. And there's also gravestones you'll come across.
Life, but like done in like a more macabre overtone.
Yes, it's as if they took the Bug's Life world.
Yeah.
It got completely obliterated.
Okay.
And it's post-apocalypse where you're playing as this adventurer coming back and finding this Bug's Life ruins and discovering what used to be there. That is kind of what the story is.
Oh, come on, man. What about Dennis Leary and the Beetle and such?
There's new you can have new characters. It's not an empty world. There's plenty of NPCs in there. All of them have their own little quirks and personalities. There's like this there's like this grandfather, I think a grandfather, little larva wormy dude, and he's
a grandfather larva, when larvae are the unborn or at least baby form.
It's hard to explain, but there are the baby ones, and they're sort of speckled about the world. Oh, they're speckled about the world, and you have to free them, and then once you free them, they'll be with the grandfather one in like this big giant little weird larva worm colony thing.
Hollow Knight's the game version of Benjamin Button, as told by Bugs. That's what I'm getting, He's talking about grandfather larva.
Sure.
Do you know Benjamin Button disease? Benjamin Button, the story?
No, man. You're throwing
a dude who aged backwards.
What? No, I have no clue, man.
All right, never mind, man. Okay, so Hollow Knight.
Yes.
Did you or did you not? Did you dig this? Would you recommend cats check this out?
Yes. This is a great game. It's only $15 on Steam.
Available now.
It's available right now. It's actually on sale right now for the Steam Summer Sale, which ends in like 2 days or a day and a half or something like that.
Okay.
It is a phenomenal game, very well put together. There are some problems with it. The biggest problem is that the environments and the world is too big. It's too spacious. And because
God, they just gave me so much game. There was so much cool stuff to do and so much space to explore.
So many wasted hours.
Well, it's the pace. It ruins the pacing.
Oh,
it could have been paced a bit
problem.
better by making the levels themselves short, sort of closer, more confined, and closer together. There are some rooms that feel like filler because when it takes a bit of time before you get your next power up, and then a bit more time before you get your next power up, so your sense of progression is slowed down. Therefore, the pacing is slowed down because of how large the world is.
Okay.
But that is the biggest problem with this game, is that everything else is phenomenal.
Okay. All right, I can dig that. All right, the game is called Hollow Knight. It's available now in the Steam store. Check it out. If you disagree with Just Johnny, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com and tell us why. Or check us out on twitch.tv/thegeekdown. Talk about it in the chat or leave us a note there and let us know why Just Johnny is huffing glue.
Oh, and it's also available on PS4 and Xbox One.
On PS4 and Xbox One. All right, cool. Thank you, John. All right, now I want to close out with Duke. I got to check out an advanced screening of this new movie starring Charlize Theron called